Two guys, graduate the same year, same college, each same starting salary. $42,000 a year. Entry-level marketing job, nothing special. 15 years later, one of them has a net worth over $1 million. The other one is still checking his balance before he swipes his card at the grocery store. Here's the part that surprises people. The second guy actually earned more over those 15 years. 2 promotions ahead, bigger title, nicer car in the driveway. So what happened? It wasn't luck. It wasn't a lottery ticket or a rich uncle. It was a handful of decisions made quietly, month after month, that most people never learn and most schools never teach. I want to walk you through what actually separates these two guys, because the honest answer is a lot less exciting than you'd think, and a lot more useful. Most people earn money. Very few keep it. Picture your income as water pouring into a bucket every month. Rent takes a chunk. Groceries take another. Then the subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. Then a night out, because it's been a long week. By the time the month ends, the bucket's empty again, and it refills right on schedule, so the whole thing can repeat. That's not a character flaw. That's just what happens when nobody's asked the second question. Most people only ever ask, how much can I spend this month? The people who build real wealth ask a different question. How much of this can I put to work for me before I touch the rest? That single shift, asking what stays instead of what goes, is the actual starting line. Everything else builds on top of it. The formula gets flipped. Here's the formula almost everyone grows up with. Income minus expenses equals savings. Whatever's left over at the end of the month, that's what gets saved, if anything does. People who actually build wealth run it backwards. Income minus investments equals expenses. The investing happens first, automatically, before a single bill gets paid. Whatever's left after that is what they're allowed to spend. It sounds like a small technicality. It isn't. When saving is what's left over, it's the first thing that gets skipped during a busy month. When investing happens first, it's not a decision anymore. It's just how the money moves. And this is the part nobody explains well. The reason this works isn't some overnight miracle. It's time. $100 a month invested consistently at a decent average return can turn into 6 figures over 25 years. Not because the market did anything unusual, but because compounding is patient and most people aren't. The raise that never shows up in your bank account. You get a raise. 10%, let's say. Feels great. A few months later, you've upgraded your phone, moved into a slightly nicer apartment, started eating out a bit more because you can finally afford it. None of it feels reckless. Every single purchase makes sense on its own. Then a year goes by, and you notice your income went up 10%, but your savings account looks exactly the same as it did before the raise. That's lifestyle inflation. And it's the quiet reason a lot of high earners never actually get ahead. Their income climbs every year, but so does everything they spend it on, and the gap between the two never widens. People who build wealth handle raises differently. Not by refusing to enjoy the money, but by splitting it. Half goes towards something that makes life better today. Half goes straight into investments before it ever hits the checking account. Their lifestyle still improves, just slower than their net worth does. Buying things versus buying assets. Every purchase you make is really answering one question, whether you realize it or not. Does this thing put money back in my pocket over time, or does it just sit there costing me money the moment I own it? A car loses value the second you drive it off the lot. A closet full of designer clothes doesn't pay you back. Most of what we call nice things fall into this category, and there's nothing wrong with owning them, but they're not building anything. A rental property collects rent every month. Shares in a company grow while you sleep. A skill you get good enough at can be sold for years. These are assets, and the difference between someone who's wealthy and someone who just looks wealthy usually comes down to how much of their money sits in the second category instead of the first. What this actually comes down to building wealth was never about one big break or one lucky year. It's thousands of small, boring decisions, repeated long enough that they stop feeling like decisions and start feeling like habits. Spend less than you bring in. Move money into investments before you have the chance to spend it. Let your lifestyle grow slower than your income does. Buy things that pay you back instead of things that just sit there. None of that requires a six-figure salary or rich parents. It requires a system, and the willingness to run that system for years instead of weeks. The two guys from the beginning didn't have different luck. One of them just had a system running quietly in the background the entire time, and the other one didn't know there was a game being played. Start yours today. Not because next year is guaranteed to be easier, but because whatever system you build now is what your future balance is going to reflect. If this changed how you think about money, that's exactly what Upgrade Daily is here for. Every week, we break down the real habits behind wealth, discipline, and building a life you're not just earning through, but actually getting ahead in. I'll see you in the next one.